Welcome back to the SportsMax Zone. Day 6 of the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar saw a total of 8 goals being scored. Here are the results of the 4 matches contested. Senegal overcoming Qatar 3-1. They belonging to Group A, and a 1-1 draw between Netherlands and Ecuador. We move across now to Group B. Iran overcoming Wales 2-0, and no goals in that draw between England and the USA. Well, one of our football correspondents, Simon Evans, joins us to discuss the day's late match between England and USA. Good afternoon, Simon.
Good afternoon, Mariah.
Well, we saw an England team this afternoon that looked a shadow of themselves from the one we saw up against Iran.
Yes, indeed. Obviously, the United States presented a lot more problems for England than Iran did. Although Iran have put themselves in with a chance of getting out of the group after beating Wales 2-0 with 2 late goals. But very sluggish performance from England, back to the kind of performances they delivered during the Nations League in the summer, where we were all saying that perhaps it was because it was summer and a semi-friendly competition, but it was worrying performance really from England, one though that leaves them still in a pretty strong position in their group.
Yeah, another topic that, has gained a lot of scrutiny from today's match, Gareth Southgate's decision to keep Harry Maguire on, despite, not seeing the best performance from him.
I thought he played well, actually, Maguire. I thought he had a good game. And I know, there are people on social media who've been really targeting Harry Maguire over the last few months, and let's be honest, he had some poor performances from Manchester United, but I think he's been solid so far in this tournament from England. He's doing okay. If I was looking at questioning some of Southgate's decisions today, there would be quite a few other ones I would question, particularly why Phil Foden has sat and watched that entire game where England created very little, watched it all from the bench.
Yeah, that was a bit shocking for me as well, Simon. And I wonder about the 68-minute substitutions as well. A couple of eyebrows raised when Bellingham was taken off, and he appeared at that point to be having a pretty decent match.
Decent match, yeah, but I mean, they should be getting more out of him because he's such a talented player, as we saw in the Champions League, we saw against Iran as well. It was just one of those performances where England seemed disjointed. They were playing safe football again. Although I don't want to, by criticising England's performance, take anything away from what I thought was a really good performance from the United States.
Yeah, that's where I'm going to go with this, because the USA has long been a team, because it is not a traditional footballing nation, quite often glossed over. But they have had several trips to the round of 16 when they've gone to the World Cup. And their game is, the term I usually use to describe the USA, Simon, is organized. They're a very organized unit, and you don't just turn up and beat them.
No, that's right. But I think they've also got a little bit of additional creativity and flair in this version of it. I agree with you. That has been the model for the United States for a long time now, and he's still there. Their coach, Berhalter, likes to have a well-organised team, but you look at some of the performances. I thought Adams was outstanding in the centre of midfield. Tyler Adams. I thought Weston McKennie was creative and inventive. Pulisic was dangerous, and the only thing really they were missing was at the back. I thought Tim Ream, a veteran Fulham defender, took care of things really well against Harry Kane at the back. And the one thing they're missing, really, as we said in our sort of look at it all before the tournament, was they're missing a real out-and-out striker.
Yeah, I just looked at some stats there where the USA outshot them, the English team, both in attempts and shots on target. But I wanted to question you a bit on the US game and the pace of their game. Damian Lowe, who plays for the Reggae Boys and is on David Beckham's Inter Miami FC in the MLS, said on a local World Cup program a couple of days ago on domestic television, CVM, that the MLS is a more pacey game than the English Premier League. Now, that raised some eyebrows because people would generally not think so. But on close observation, he does have a point. The MLS is a pretty swift pace game, and by virtue of that, a lot of the players who play for the USA are accustomed to a very high-paced game.
It's not a slow league, that's for sure. I mean, whether it's a higher tempo than the Premier League, I'd be slightly sceptical of that myself as well. But it's certainly it's not a slow-paced league at all. And you look around the world at some of the other leagues, in South America where we do see a lower tempo, and in other parts of Europe, particularly Southern Europe. So he's got a point there, yeah. And also, there's a lot of this American team now is playing in the Bundesliga, in the Serie A, and in the Premier League. They're not overawed by these kind of occasions. They're well used to playing against players like this, and the tempo at which they play. So, the United States are a decent side. We shouldn't really be shocked by this result. I'm not shocked by it at all, to be honest. But whether they'll get out of the group now, they've got to do the business against Iran.
Yes, Simon, and a quick word on the role of Christian Pulisic for the USA. Of course, acting as a cheerleader, acting as a leader, helping his team.
Yeah, he is. He's really the key figure for them. Going to Borussia Dortmund at a very young age and then going to Chelsea. He's been the sort of leading American abroad, and they expect big things from him. Hasn't quite, delivered the magic moment that would make him arrive at this World Cup, but I think he might have one in him. He went very close with a left foot shot in the first half that struck the crossbar. I really like him. It hasn't worked out for him at Chelsea as much as he would have liked, as well as he would have liked. But I think he's got so much in his game. He can play wide, he can play central, he's skillful, he can score goals. He's not bad in the air either, even though he's not a big player. There's a lot to him, but he's got to try and see if he can be the man to deliver those goals for the United States, because that's what they're lacking.
Yes, I definitely enjoyed watching him today. So, Simon, you don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we continue with our football discussion.